What's the difference between a revocable living trust and a Medicaid asset protection trust, which is an irrevocable trust? Perhaps you're thinking about getting a trust and you're not sure which direction to go to. Well, my name is Olivia Wan, and I'm with Olivia Wan Estate Planning and Probate. And hopefully, this brief discussion will help you navigate which choice is best for you. This is educational and does not constitute legal advice. So many people assume that all trusts provide the same probate, but that's not actually the case. A revocable living trust and a Medicaid asset protection trust serve very different reasons and purposes, and choosing the wrong trust can have significant financial consequences. So we want to navigate making a decision that is just right for you and the objective that you have for your assets and how they will be distributed. A revocable trust is primarily an estate planning tool. It allows you to manage your assets during your lifetime and avoid probate. So that's what makes it very desirable to couples who come into my office and talk to me about their choices. If they have adequate funds to support long-term care costs, then this is a good option for them, especially if they own property in different states. And so the Revocable Living Trust would help them to avoid probate in all of the states that they own property, providing that the property is deeded into the trust. And with the Revocable Living Trust, you retain complete control over the trust. So you may amend it, you may revoke it, you can restate it at any time. You can change your beneficiaries. There is no problem because you are in control. However, this control comes with important limitation. The asset in a revocable trust are still considered your assets. So, as a result, the assets that are in the trust are available to creditors and generally countable when you're looking at Medicaid eligibility to pay for your long-term care. So, for example, if you have your home in your revocable trust, it counts as an asset should you rely on Medicaid TennCare to pay for your nursing home costs. Now, with that said, if you have very healthy, strong IRAs and investment accounts and savings accounts, you're not going to qualify for Medicaid anyway. Right now, the current resource limitation is $2,000, and the income cap is approximately $2,900 for an individual. So you have to think about that. Are you willing to give up control to push the asset into an irrevocable trust if you're not going to qualify for Medicaid anyway? So, with that said, if you are not a candidate for Medicaid, then you may prefer to maintain control over your assets and use the Revocable Living Trust. Now, let's move on to understanding the Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. The Medicaid Asset Protection Trust is an irrevocable trust, and it is specifically designed to help preserve your assets while planning for future long-term care needs. Once the asset is transferred to the trust, you, as the grantor, gives up direct ownership and control of those assets. So, in other words, in order to have asset protection with this type of trust, you don't own it, the trust does. You can't even sell it without the trustee, which cannot be you, signing the deed. Now, with that said, Medicaid has a 5-year look back period. So any transfers made within 60 months could result in losing eligibility for Medicaid or having a penalty period. So just want to be sure that you are understanding how Medicaid works, that there is a look back period for any assets that are transferred within 60 months of applying for Medicaid. Now, when it's drafted well in advance, pushing the asset into the Medicaid Asset Protection Trust, this allows you to qualify for Medicaid TennCare benefits, providing you did it in times, at least 60 months ahead. And so it preserves the asset So you're not risking a Medicaid recovery that you hear about where the state takes your house or forces a sale. So it preserves the asset for either your spouse, your children, or other beneficiaries. So this is highly desirable if you are what we call land rich, money poor. Maybe you have some acreage that's a very valuable asset, particularly if it's a family farm, but you don't have a lot of money put back that could be used for long-term care. Now, the trade-off needs to be understood. The irrevocable trust cannot be simply changed or revoked at your discretion, unlike the revocable living trust. And because of the legal and tax implications involved, a Medicaid asset protection trust should only be established after careful planning with an experienced attorney. So, in short, the Revocable Living Trust helps families avoid probate and simplifies estate administration. And I love that you can put contingencies. I've had subtrust to include pet trust, provisions for chemically dependent children, special needs trust for special needs children or spouses. And so it gives you so much flexibility in designing it. So, on the other hand, the Medicaid Asset Protection Trust, it also avoids probate and it allows you to put some contingencies in place, but it is designed to protect the asset from the high cost of long-term care and assist with you being eligible for Medicaid TennCare. Now, understanding the difference between these two types of trust is essential in developing a comprehensive estate and long-term care plan. I hope that helps you understand the difference between the two types of trust, and I'd love to talk with you further.